Hello, guys. Welcome to Passion Live at 7:45. I'm Mike Batiste. Today, I will be speaking on the subject of peace. Peace is what we've been talking about over the past few weeks. If you hadn't seen Dez's and Zach's live that they did. You can definitely go watch that. They're really good. I would definitely recommend that you watch those. But today I'm going to be looking in the book of Matthew, and that's where Jesus essentially goes over the Beatitudes. That's what biblical scholars call them. They are the Beatitudes because they were. Jesus preached this over the Sermon on the Mount, but he says a lot. But I really just want to focus on what he says in verse 9 of chapter 5 of Matthew, which says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God." Now, Jesus uses his words very carefully. That's one thing Jesus is really known for doing. Jesus doesn't just say anything. So when we say peacemaker, and you can't help but to wonder, what could he be talking about? And peacemakers are essentially those people who act in the hopes of resolving conflict or in the hopes of reconciling issues amongst individuals. Peacemakers are those who you'll see in the trenches. They are in the midst of chaos, and they are willing to do what it takes to put things as they should be. Peace is not the absence of conflict. If you're looking for a true peacemaker, look no further than our United States Marines. When conflict comes our way, their job is to handle that, right? They do that for us. They are the walking, definition of what a peacemaker is. Well, at least they keep the peace in. Well, they peacemake on our side of the country. There are other countries who believe they're peacemaking, and I'm not trying to show any type of nationalism or anything of that nature. I'm just letting you know. You want to know what a peacemaker is? Look no further than our United States military. But the opposite of peacemaking would ultimately be peacekeeping. And peacekeepers have this tendency to keep the peace at all costs. They will avoid, they will sacrifice, they are willing to give up anything for the sake of preserving peace amongst people or things. They are not willing for this. They are generally just people who look to avoid conflict. And that's a dangerous place to be because Jesus makes it very well known that we're always going to run into problems, and we need to know how to deal with those problems. Problems aren't just always going to go away. If we continue to allow to make compromises for every time conflict arises, we'll begin to sacrifice who we are, what we believe in, what we care about, and there are things that are just worth fighting for. And having a peace of mind in the midst of those hard times are essentially what's going to get you through that. And I believe that's very important. Peacemaking is critical. And just know that you can't be a peacemaker without having any peace in here. You need peace in here. Our external actions are merely a reflection of what's going on in here. We're really good at putting up this facade like there's like that's not true, and humans are just really good actors. We're really good at being somebody for a certain amount of time, but we can't do that forever. We still have, we go home, usually when we're by ourselves, that's our truest self. That's just who we are. And in order to be a peacemaker, we have to be willing to address our own issues. When there's distress, when there's problems arising in ourselves, we have to be able to address that with other people. We have to be able to be bold enough to say, hey, there's something going on in here. There's something going on in here. I need help. Help. God puts people in your life so that you're capable of overcoming these things. God calls us to be peacemakers because God needs peacemakers. There needs to be more peacemakers in the world because the world just isn't going to get any better. The world's going to get worse. And who's going to carry out what God has called, his people to do? It takes a lot of courage to be a peacemaker. See, a lot of the times what brings the peacemaker out of us is essentially understanding what's at stake if we're not a peacemaker. I know that's ultimately how I've managed to get through a lot of my issues. I've actually had a scenario. Well, let me let you in my life a little bit, okay? There was a point in my life where my sister, she had gotten to a little feud with the guy we were living with, and this guy was essentially a lot older than us. At the time, I was just in elementary school, but I remember this like it was just yesterday. It was her time to be on the computer, something trivial, right? And she was throwing a fit because when it was her time to get on the computer, this guy was in the room, still on the computer after being on it for hours. It wasn't. He was supposed to have given it to her, and he didn't. And essentially, my sister got upset. She was banging on the door. She was upset, and it was just bad. All right. My brother was in the room. He said something to him. He got upset. My brother had gotten upset, and he just walked out the door. I'm just watching TV, minding my own business. All right. I'm not in by no means am I involved in any of this quarrel. The man walks out the room, picks my sister up, and just starts walking around with her and telling her to be quiet, telling her she need to calm down. And now, again, I have nothing to do with this whatsoever. But what type of person would I be to allow someone carry my sister around, you know, without a care in the world? I just can't let that happen. Like, this guy is more than capable of beating me down. I mean, I'm well aware of my physical position towards him. Like, this guy could definitely beat my tail. No lie. But what would that say about how I felt about my sister and how I felt about her well-being? That would ultimately mean, oh well, this guy can do what he wants. I'm not going to do anything. What is that? What am I communicating by not doing nothing? I'm saying that my peace is more important than ensuring my sister's safety. And as that was processing through my head, I essentially made the decision to get up, confront this man, and tell him he has to put my sister down, right? Now, like I said, this guy was a lot bigger than I was. This guy was a lot stronger than I was, and I was well aware if he really wanted to, this man could hurt me. Like, he really could. But, you know, something was at stake. Someone that mattered to me was at stake. So I couldn't afford not to do something. And sometimes that's how you have to look at peacemaking. You know, something is at stake when you're choosing to be a peacekeeper opposed to being a peacemaker. You have to understand that there are things worth fighting for. And I hope that I was able to encourage you today. If there's an issue that maybe you can solve, maybe God's positioned you in a place where there's somebody you know, somebody you care about is going through something with someone else that you may care about, and maybe there's something you can do about it. And if you haven't done anything about it, why not? You know, if there's something you can contribute to making a fallen relationship restored, how great of an opportunity, how great would that be? God will bless you for something like that. This is an opportunity for you to be a peacemaker. This is an opportunity for you to be the individual that God has called you to be. God will look at you and say, you are my child. Matthew 5:9 says, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. You are a child of God. You are to be a peacemaker. You are not to be idle. You are not to be passive. Understand that there will be moments in your life where you will have to stand up for what you believe in. You will have to fight for the people you care about. There is someone out there who will want to take that away from you. You cannot let that happen. If you want something to go away, simply do nothing. And I promise you, in time, it'll go away. It'll go from order, disorder, and chaos. Just be idle. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything. But I hope that inspired you today to go out and confront the individuals who are lost, or the individuals who are in need of peace. Maybe you can be that light for them that they need, because that's what Jesus calls us to do. Thank you. This was a pleasure. Hopefully I'll do this again. You guys have an excellent afternoon. Peace out.